Hey all, Hipper here. So it's been a while and it's time to take out the Yahagi again. And of course this is a campaign ship, not presently available. And I use Mikawa with an Agile build, Azure Lane Baltimore and Müller. Ingenious, Velocious, steer clear, fully packed, all the usual stuff. On the ship I have the improved turret rotation here. Because the turrets turn really slowly even with Ingenious. And you got 3 sonars, 3 catapult fighters and 3 engine boosts. So just have a look here at the Torpedoes. 12-kilometer range and they hit hard. Detectability is not the best, but they do hit very hard. Less than 4-second rudder and almost 42 knots here makes it a very capable Agile cruiser at tier 4. Just don't get hit, because as any low tier cruiser, the armor is exceptionally bad. And especially on this thing here, you will get absolutely wrecked if battleships get at you, especially your broadside. So this ship was available as part of a campaign a while ago, and I don't see many of them out there. It is a good ship, and with an Agile build it's actually quite good. It's one of the more enjoyable tier 4 cruisers to play with an Agile build. With an Agile build, you get less than 4-second rudder on this thing here, 3.9 seconds, which is very, very good at tier 4. And you get your 12-kilometer torpedoes, which are also extremely powerful. And they hit hard, but like I said before, they are pretty easy to spot. And last but not least, you get your speed. And as you can see, this build here, without speed boost, is just under 42 knots. Meaning that when you pop the speed boost on this thing here, you will be sailing along somewhere in the mid 40s, around 44 knots in a cruiser at tier 4. And that is just a very nasty surprise. Like for example, this kamikaze here is going to find out, because he has obviously gone a little bit too far. And there is no outrunning this Yahagi here when you are in this position here. Now he is getting a little bit of backup there from his friends over there, but it is a bit too late here. Now he was obviously trying to get up the flank on this map here, and obviously we can't have a kamikaze running around on this map because they're just so powerful, and I'm going to do anything I can to get rid of this destroyer here, which means that I'm pretty much just going to blast into his smoke and surprise him on the other side. Because like I said, this is one fast cruiser. Of course my speed boost has run out here, and I am still spotted, meaning that he is very, very close. So luckily here we get unspotted before exiting, meaning that I should be able to take him by surprise. And there he is. So if we can remove this kamikaze here from the map this early on, that gives my team quite an advantage, because this is one of the more powerful ships, especially at tier 4. It's actually a little bit ridiculous. The concealment on this thing is just, it's about 4.5 kilometers, and it has deadly torpedoes. So getting rid of this thing here is an absolute plus. And like I said, there's no escape here. I have my sonar on, it's going to run out of course, but he is in trouble. And he doesn't really have anyone close enough to support him, so meaning one more salvo and he should be removed from this map here. And that's it. And we have removed quite a nasty threat on this map here. And now I'm trying to decide if I should keep pushing this flank or retreat, because I have obviously pushed in a little bit too far here in my hunt for the destroyer. And I was hoping to citadel this Yahagi here. I only got 1 citadel out of it, and because there's a very nice juicy carrier behind him that of course I would love to get my hands on, or my guns on rather. And there's another destroyer approaching as well, so it is a little bit dicey now. There are simply too many reds. So instead I will turn around and save the fight for another day. So this is a playstyle very similar to Otago. I mean, push in as far as you can, and then when things start to get a little dicey, just time your turn around. Of course, you don't show broadside to the whole red team, but turn around and then kite away until you get an opportunity to push in again. And that's pretty much it, just rinse and repeat. And I'm not shooting at the destroyer at the moment because I was kind of expecting the other two destroyers over there to take care of him. But the longer I go on, and I also have to obviously make sure I don't get blasted by the enemies here. But the longer I go on, the more I realize that they're not shooting at him at all. So okay, fine, we'll have a go at him. But at the same time, I need to put some distance between myself and this red team here. At least I'm keeping them all occupied over here. Just about 4 ships. So that really only means there are 1 destroyer and 1 cruiser left. No, 1 battleship left on the other flank. And like, still not much going on over there. So you can think of Yahagi as a very squishy Atago at tier 4, pretty much. It is squishy, very squishy, but as you can see, very agile for tier 4. And those nasty torpedoes, they are very useful when you can get to use them, because the launch like angles aren't very good. So we took out a destroyer and we made a lot of commotion over here on this flank here, and pretty much like, well, the majority of ships on this map are chasing me over here. So I'm always then we took out the Clemson as well. So that's 2 destroyers. I'm always surprised why nothing happens on the other flank when in fact, like for example on this flank here, 2/3 of the ships are chasing me, and there's only a few left on the other flank for the entire remainder of my team to finish off. And yet nothing seems to happen. And those are the horrible battles in your agile cruisers when you are tanking for the whole team and no one seems to understand what is going on, and that it would probably be a good idea to push on the other flank when 2/3 of the ships are occupied over here. But sometimes that's just not the way this game goes, or the battles go, and well, frustrating as it is, it's part of playing World of Warships. And very lucky Monte Kukuli there. He just got sideswiped by torpedoes. And mine are approaching as well, and that's one of the good things about Yahagi. You can fire your torpedoes, you can kite away, and then you can go dark, and you can watch your torpedoes to see if they actually hit someone. Because like I said, they have 12-kilometer range, so you can fire them like a long way away, and they're also quite slow. So they're a bit like the Italian torpedoes in that they have very long range, but they take a long time to get where they're going. And that's actually a good thing, because it usually means that people forget about torpedoes. And even myself, I forget about my torpedoes when I shoot them, and then about a minute later I get a random hit and I'm like, oh, okay. And it's quite good actually. So I've licked my wounds over on this flank here, and I'm starting to push again because I want to see if I can get these guys here out of the way. They are just 2 cruisers, and all I have to do is just to citadel them until they pretty much run away. But I just have like horrible luck with the AP here, and I did get a citadel on the Yahagi earlier, but that's about it. So just like my Atago, I am using the Agile build here to be a very aggressive pushing cruiser, meaning that I can get my shells on the enemy ships, but they are unable to hit me, although even there are 2 of them and there's only 1 of me. If you can see here, I use my very fast rudder to simply avoid their shells, and then keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And only when things start to get a little bit too dicey, you can see the Monte Kukuli here, he is starting to show broadside, meaning that he's trying to turn around, and that's your cue to go dark and try again, because there are 2 of them, and I don't have a lot of hit points left, and I have to be a little careful here. If it was just 1 cruiser, we could probably keep pushing, but 2 of them, and one of them at least taking up a more aggressive stance means that we'll have to try again. So we do exactly what we did before, push in until things get a little bit too dicey, and then we kite away and we wait for another opportunity to strike again. And of course, perfect opportunity to use those 12-kilometer torps here. At the moment, these guys are a little bit too far away, so there's no point using them. But if they were approaching me, I would fire my torpedoes and then go dark and hope they forgot about my torpedoes. And yet again, things have gone quiet here on the Western Front, so we're going to push yet again. And like I said, it's pretty much the same approach as I have in Atago in an open water map like this, where the enemies are in a spot that makes it hard to ambush them. So push in, try to take out as many as you can, and then, like I said a few times in this video now, when things get a little bit dicey, turn around, fire torpedoes, go dark, and rinse and repeat. Like, sooner or later you're going to push through, or the enemies are going to overrun you if you're not careful. So finally get this carrier here that I've been wanting the whole time, and just trying to get a fire started on him, but the Oklahoma gets in there before me. And again, I take the return shots, which is usual for Agile cruisers. I mean, that's one of your jobs, basically. When you have an Agile build, it doesn't really matter that people shoot at you, because you should be able to avoid most salvos, especially at a distance here of 12 kilometers. So I fire my torpedoes, and don't forget you have 2 banks on this ship here, meaning that you can actually saturate a cap from 12, 13 kilometers away, just like I'm doing here. And I just spotted a destroyer heading close to our cap, so that means I'm going to pretty much give up this cap here now, because I just can't push these 2 guys enough, and without any help from someone else on the other flank, like the battleship before that took out the carrier, I can keep doing this forever. And it's more important to get back and actually defend our cap now, because I am the fastest ship here, and I can get there relatively quickly. And this going back and forth here, there's just no end to it. So I get a lucky torp hit on the Montecuccoli here, and yeah, that was a bit lucky, I will certainly admit that. But it does show you the power of the torpedoes on the ship here. Because I was long gone when I got that hit, and I fired the torpedoes probably a minute ago, and I certainly forgot about them, and I'm sure this guy did too. I just missed out on the kill there, which is, like, yeah, awful. But anyway, we continue steaming towards our cap, so we can kick that destroyer out. So Yahagi is not for sale. And I don't know when it will be for sale again. It was part of a campaign, and it's not a rare ship, but it's rare that people play it. And I forgot to say in the beginning, if you prefer faster rudder, you can put another rudder inspiration on Mikawa instead of Müller. I do that sometimes. I still haven't really decided which is better. But in this battle here, I'm using Müller just for a little bit more speed. With double rudder inspirations, you get around 40 knots out of this thing here, and with Müller you get nearly 42. So very similar to Atago again. But obviously here, 2 rudder inspirations actually makes sense. So you can get the rudder down to 3.5 seconds instead of 3.9, and it does make a huge difference. Now the gun damage output on Yahagi is not the best. You only have 3 turrets, and it's not like a fire spammer in any sense. The torpedoes are probably your main, well, perhaps not your main, but probably 50-50 damage potential guns and the torpedoes. So you need to get them in play when you play the ship here, and that's why it's so similar to Atago, that also shares that 50-50 rule, where that torpedoes really make up half your damage potential. And especially when you have 12-kilometer range, like I said, you can pull off some pretty amazing things, and that's what makes this ship fun. Also the fact that it is super agile at tier 4, which is very rare. Just remember one thing, that this ship is nowhere near as sturdy as a Targo. Like, if you take a battleship shell hit, it's very likely you're going to get Citadel, and it's very likely that it'll take 2/3 of your health or something crazy like that. So be careful, and that's why an agile build is very important on this ship here. And I just again miss out on a kill on that Clemson there, but that would be nice, all 3 destroyers, but didn't happen. Like I said, be careful. Battleship shells will ruin your day, and I mean that's the case in any cruiser. So I really shouldn't have to say this, but it is extra important in this one here, because it is. You saw all the blue armor, which is very, very thin and provides practically no protection. And again, I just missed out on the kill there. So anyway, that was Yahagi, an agile build at tier 4. Nice premium cruiser, good fun, and one of my favorite ships at tier 4 actually. And I don't have a lot of favorite ships down there. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you out there.